Good evening, I'm Lou Jane Schnoor, and this is New Jersey Today. Tonight, we are covering a crisis that has been building for decades, and one that is now impossible to ignore. Over 63% of New Jersey's community water systems have been contaminated with PFAS, a chemical linked to cancer and immune damage. At least 46% of residents live in areas with unhealthy air quality, and by 2050, more than 62,000 people and 56,000 homes are expected to flood out at least once per year, not because of any single storm, but because of decades of compounding failures. Tonight, we're asking, what does a real solution look like? And who has been left out of the conversation far too long? Our field reporter, Mahi, is live. Mahi?
Thank you, Lou Jane. I'm here with a New Jersey resident who has been living these statistics firsthand.
My name is Ayan. I've lived in New York my whole life. My little sister has asthma. She's been in and out of the hospital more times than I can count. Our streets flood after basically every storm, and in the summer it's unbearable. There's no trees, there's no shade, just heat and highways.
Do you feel like your community gets the same protections as wealthier towns nearby?
Not even close. Drive every 20 minutes out of Newark and it looks completely different. More green space, cleaner air, better everything. It's like two different states, and it didn't even happen by accident. For decades, industrial sites and highways have been placed right next to homes while other communities have stayed protected. We've been absorbing consequences we didn't create.
And that pattern is exactly what the task force we're covering tonight was formed to address. Back to you, Lou Jane.
Joining us now is Dr. Pranav, an environmental policy analyst and a member of the Attorney General's task force. Dr. Pranav, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lou Jane.
Your task force has proposed something called the GALE framework. Could you let us know more about it?
GALE stands for Green Infrastructure, Arbitalization, Legal Enforcement, and Environmental Land Reform. We build it as a unified framework, not just a list of separate policies, because these problems are connected. You can't fix flooding without addressing overdevelopment. You can't fix air quality without industrial accountability. And you can't do any of it fairly without confronting the historical inequalities that put certain communities in harm's way. So GALE treats all of that as one coordinated strategy.
Walk us through it, starting with those statistics on that graphic. Those numbers are alarming.
They really are. 63% of water systems are contaminated. 46% of residents breathe unhealthy air, and 84% of emissions from fossil fuel. These aren't just projections, this is New Jersey right now. So our first pillar, green infrastructure, directly tackles flooding and water quality. Instead of patching 1950s drainage systems, we invest in rain gardens, green roofs, and permeable pavement, nature-based solutions that absorb stormwater at the source. Funded through a modest stormwater utility fee around $5 to $15 per household monthly, with priority going to the communities that are hit the hardest.
And arborization, the tree canopy expansion?
In cities like Newark, trees are not a luxury, they're public health intervention. Our second pillar calls for a coordinated urban forestry program through partnerships with local nonprofits, schools, and workforce organizations. It lowers temperatures, filters pollutants, and creates jobs in the communities that need them. And while trees grow, we deploy immediate measures, reflective sun roofing, and shaded public spaces, so residents aren't waiting years for relief.
New Jersey has already passed an environmental justice law in 2020. So what does legal enforcement add?
The law is strong on paper, but enforcement hasn't kept up. Our third pillar funds the DEP's Office of Environmental Justice properly, creating transparent and standardized assessment criteria and builds real accountability into permitting decisions. A law without enforcement is just a promise, and these communities have been promised things for too long. It's time to make action.
And finally, the fourth pillar, environmental land reform.
This is what ties everything together in the long term. We expand the Blue Acres program, which buys and restores flood-prone properties. We pair it with zoning reforms that direct development towards safer areas. And we update building codes so that new construction is required to include green infrastructure, so growth stops making things worse rather than better.